2 minutes on each foot. Okay, so remember on Wednesdays I do a little bit more upper body work. So we'll do that today. Mondays I strictly from the hips down. Wednesdays I do a little bit from the hips up. So 2 minutes on each foot, rolling. Remember, we're not rolling the bones when we do self-myofascial release. We're not targeting the bones or the joints. So you're staying off the heel. Okay, you're staying off the super bony points of the foot. The only reason we put it on the ball of our foot here is so we can get that movement of the joints, right? We have so many different joints in the foot. But right now we're just focusing on that fascia. So imagine the ball of your foot as a palm of your hand. You want to explore all these areas in here. Okay? You control how much pressure you put in. Doesn't have to be a lot. In fact, I want it to be just enough so that you can feel it, right? You can find where those trigger points are, but you can still keep those breaths, right? Big inhales and exhale. That's a big part of this class. It's just that breath. Okay, so now you've worked on that foot for a little over a minute now. Go back and polka dot it. What I mean by polka dot is find a spot, rock onto it, rock off of it. And maybe when you're on it, you can add a little movement of the toes and rock off. So try to find different spots in your foot, particularly spots that might have been tight or you felt tightness in as you were rolling. Good. Good. All right, and shake out that foot. So if you've been with me before, you know that sometimes I do a little test and a retest. Not doing that so much here, but I want you to shake out that foot and just go from side to side and see what the difference is. The leg you just rolled, of the foot you just rolled, and the leg of the foot you haven't rolled, right? I feel a lot of tightness, tension on the foot I haven't rolled, and on the leg I haven't rolled. Just finished class. And I see if I can notice a difference here after rolling that foot. So switching sides. Okay, we'll go 2 minutes here too. Remember, we want to find that inside corner. So here is the arch of your foot. So if you turn that toe down to the floor, you kind of move that ball around in that space, whether it's up and back, side to side, maybe doing a little circle. Really explore that arch space. Okay? And then on the flip side, get it way up there on the outside edge of your foot. Okay? See how my ball is kind of squishing out there outside my foot. Okay, we're going front to back. Remember, it's the palm of your hand. Imagine it. You can even trace on your palm what you want the ball to do on your foot. A little mind body trick there. Rolling. Okay, and again, if it's taking your breath away, you got too much pressure, back it off, breathe. Good. We're just gonna roll here for about 15 more seconds. Remember, we're going from the ball of the foot to the heel in that space in between. Good. Now this foot, same thing. Find a spot, push down, hold. Maybe you add a little movement at the toes, don't have to. And then come off. Push down, hold. And then come off. And if you want to, you can use a wall here. So you can stand next to a wall for a little bit of balance. Balance aid, that's fine. Just finish polka dotting here. Try to get into those little nooks and crannies where you had tight spots. Maybe you found one in that arch space. You can get in there. Just 30 more seconds. And rock off. And rock off. And rock off. All right, so you're going to move your ball to the side. We are going to use it again, so don't put it too far. All I want to do is focus on those feet we just rolled. We're going to stretch them a little bit. So I'm going to start with the foot in the back. Bottoms of the toes to the floor. Heel up to the ceiling, as if the back of my heel is being lifted on a string. Okay? Or if I was going to take off running, I'm going to hold right there as I whoosh, explode. So I'm pushing the toes down and lifting the heel up. Hold here for 3 breaths. We're stretching that fascia on the bottom of that foot. And we just rolled. Good, same foot. Now we flip it. So tops of the toes into the floor. And then I want you to push the front of the ankle forward. And when I mean front of the ankle, I mean this space right here. Okay, so imagine you're going to kick something, toes got cut. Stand up nice and tall. We want to lengthen through here. You start to get a cramp on the bottom of your foot. What do? Flip it. Okay? Sometimes this can cause the bottom of the foot to cramp. And just flip it. Go back to the bottom of the foot stretch. Right? So you can alternate here. Or stay with one or the other. 15 more seconds. Good, and switch. And again, you can do this on a wall, hands on the wall, perfectly fine. I actually recommend it. I'm not doing it just because I'd have to move the camera too many times. So push, right? Heel up, hips forward, hold. Good. Top of the toes down, hip or ankle, front of the ankle forward. Stay tall. Starting to get a cramp on the bottom, flip it. Good, 10 more seconds. Good, all right, so shake out those feet. We roll just the feet. I stretch the feet. Go ahead and grab your ball, and you're gonna find your wall, all right? So moving to your wall space, and I'm gonna turn my camera here. Hopefully you can see me as I do this. We're gonna start in the glutes, right? So you have your ball, I'm gonna find the meatiest part back there, put it right in the middle. I know you can't see my head, but I know you can hear my voice. So side to side. So what I'm targeting here is from this outer hip in towards the tailbone, but remember, we're staying off of the joints, right? So we're not rolling the bones, just getting those soft tissues, muscles, and connections, right? Fascia, that's exactly what we're targeting, is that fascia layer that wraps all around the muscles of our body, all around the organs of our body. We're trying to get some fluid and movement into those spaces. So, right, hip, glute max, this is our lower glute. And we're just going to rotate from side to side. So you choose, right? It's your body. You know it better than anybody else. So listen to it, right? Give it what it needs. Not feeling much in my left side today, but I'm feeling quite a bit in my right. So I'm going to spend most of my time here on my right side. So I want you to do a little exploring in both, and then settle into the one that needs a little bit more time and spend it there, right? And you can do a little down and up. Right, so it doesn't have to be always horizontal, right? You can go a little down and up. You can do a little circle, right? Moving in that little circle. I'm targeting right now that deep hip joint, right? You can see there. I'm not rolling on it, I'm just rolling around it. Okay? Lots of tight spots in there I'm finding this morning. Okay, so we're just here for about another 30 seconds in the low glute. We're going to work it up to the high glute at the top of the pelvis, and we'll work our way up, get all the way up into the shoulder too. Good. All right, remember, it should not take your breath away. Keep that breath moving. Big inhales and exhales. Good. Okay. So next up, high glute. So use your fingers. Find that bony pelvis, right? The very top of it, the very rim of it. Put that ball right below it, okay? Now we're starting again with that, horizontal pattern, right? From hip to tailbone, in and out, right? But I can go a little sideways on here. So now the ball is right here, can't see it, but it's just below my hip. It's right in this space, right? And I'm doing a little up and down, a little vertical, a little horizontal, maybe a little circle. But I'm targeting that high hip. So you grab yourself, find the rim of your pelvis. You grab yourself with your hands, right? So I grab myself with my hands. This space right here, that's what we're targeting, right there, right? So same thing, do a little bit on each side, right? Big inhales and exhales. Good, and spend time on both. We're here for 30 more seconds in this high glute space. Good, find a spot, hold it. Maybe just kind of breathe and kind of shimmy back and forth in that space. Good. All right, so next up we're going to find, we had the top of the pelvis, right? So finding your spine right next to your spine are your spinal extensors, okay? So find those ropey muscles that are right next to your spine. And we're going to go down into the top of the hip and then imagine your body making an L. We're not built in 90-degree fashion whatsoever, but just imagine that 90 degrees. So we're going to find at the top of the pelvis, right next to the spine, those ropey extensors, and kind of shimmy the ball into that space. And now we go a little vertical, right? So imagine kind of stucking that ball right next to those extensors, right next to your spine. So this is my spine, these are my extensors, my ball is nuzzled up right next to it. And I'm just doing a little down and up pattern here as I breathe. Okay, so lower spinal extensors is our target here. I just nuzzle that in there. Big inhales and exhales. Maybe you find a spot. Hold. Okay, underneath those spinal extensors is a muscle underneath there that connects the pelvis to the ribs. That's called your QL. It's a very, very touchy muscle. Once you make it angry, it's hard to make it happy again. So if you're finding a lot of tension there, you might be finding an unhappy QL as well. But just breathe. Big inhale, exhale. Breathe. Okay, and switching sides. All right, again, we're nuzzling right up. So this is my spine, this is my extensors, right? And that ball's just nuzzling up next to it. Not on the spine itself, just next to it. And a big part of this self-myofascial release is to find tight spots, put some pressure on them, and then just imagine. So if you had a tight spot, right? So if you had a knot, and I've used this before, you've got a knot in bread dough, right? Imagine you have your bread dough and right in the middle is a big knot. You're going to pull on either side of that bread knot. That knot's not going to move a whole lot, right? But the dough on either side of it is going to be tense. It's going to be under a lot of tension and it might snap, right? So what we want to do is roll out that knot. That's what we're doing right now. We're going to roll it out so that when we go to pull, we can get more movement through the tissues on either side, right? So imagine that ball, kind of a rolling pin to loosen up that knot. And then we go into our stretch, we're going to get better movement of that muscle tissue where those tight spots, in and around where those tight spots are. Go ahead. All right. So now, since we're here, And we've done our hips, we've done our low back. I want to target a little bit of that space in a stretch. And you can just hold your ball or put it to the side. But you have your wall. So your leg that's next to the wall, you're going to cross it over the one. So you have your outside leg, right, away from the wall is behind. There's an easy way to put it, and I didn't say it. But anyways, you're in a crisscross position. Now I want your tailbone to be tucked in the inner thighs. Think about squeezing them together a little bit. Take your outside arm up, and then reach it over and touch the wall. And as you do that, you're sending this hip away. Okay, so 2 hands on the wall. Squeeze those inner thighs together. And we're getting a stretch here in that high glute space, into those hip joints, maybe a little bit into that low back space as well. So take 3 big breaths. Good. Bring the hips in, stand up, and switch. Right? So we're going to go. Right? Your outside leg is in, outside arm is up, outside hip reaching away from the wall, hands into the wall, big inhale, exhale. Squeezing those inner thighs together. Go back this side. So you can see. I want you to take that front of your hip, so just kind of that diagonal, and kind of pop it, as you pop it out, pop it forward just a little bit as well. Good. All right. So targeting that hip space, low back space, you might have felt that stretch all the way down into the outer thigh, to that high IT band as well. And let's move on. All right. So shoulder blade. This is our next bony, right? Bony landmark. Bottom of my shoulder blade. I can feel it right here. And that's where I'm going to put my ball. I'm going to put the ball on the wall. Now I'm going to roll kind of the bottom of my shoulder blade, right, which is not a flat edge by any means, but I'm going to try to find that bottom kind of cusp of my shoulder blade. Kind of comes down on a pointy angle, kind of rolling that bottom of my shoulder blade. Okay, so focus on the bottom and maybe move your shoulder, right? Move your shoulder blade. Kind of get that ball into those spaces. Good, and then just switch sides. Focus on the bottom of the shoulder blade first, and then we'll move our way up. Right? Good. Down, up. Good. All right. So next up, and you might be able to reach it, but that's all right. So find the edge, right? The inside edge of that shoulder blade. So you can put it right between your shoulder blade and your spine. Put it on the wall. And here we're doing more of a vertical, right? Because we're kind of, again, nuzzling that ball, right? So this is my shoulder blade. I'm kind of nuzzling that ball up and down next to the spine of it. Right? So it's between my shoulder blade and my spine, leaning kind of into the edge of that shoulder blade, down and up. Right? If you find a tight spot here, you can hold it. You can add a little movement if you want, so maybe just moving that arm forward, back, side to side. Right, and then you can just roll over. Same thing on the other side. Again, it's just a vertical, right? Ball is just kind of sliding down and up. Next to my shoulder blade. Good. And go back and forth between the sides. We're just going to spend 30 more seconds here in this space. And we got 2 more spaces we're going to hit with the ball. And finish in our stretch. Good. So next space, you grab yourself the back of the armpit, right? Kind of feel around in there. There's lots of little muscles, okay? Part of your rotator cuff, right in that space. So put the ball there, right at the back of the armpit, roll it, right? So you want to open your chest here. Don't be in a rounded forward position. Instead, think about shoulders open. Target just right in there. Breathe. Again, you find a tight spot, you can have movement, right? Or just kind of shimmy it back and forth, side to side, up and down. These muscles, again, get really locked up when we spend so much time with our shoulders rolled forward, with our head forward of our shoulders. And just switch sides whenever you're ready. Just the back of that armpit there. Good. All right. So one more. And what we're going to target is, right, as we spend so much time with our shoulders forward, this muscle right here, it's called your pec minor. So it's a chest muscle that attaches to the front of the shoulder. When that gets tight, it just pulls those shoulders forward. Okay, when our head comes forward, then everything comes forward. So what we want to target is right there in that little space. So like we did the back of your armpit, now imagine the front of your armpit. Now this looks a little funny. Somebody's looking at you from afar. Looks like you're kissing the wall, but you're going to put the ball right into that space. And have to lean sideways into the ball or into the wall to let that ball just explore in those tissues. So you're not going to roll onto the shoulder bone itself. You can go in towards the deeper chest tissue, and you can go up and down, vertical or horizontal, circular pattern, whatever works better for you. Again, right here, right? Think front of your armpit and lean into the wall. So notice my feet are away from the wall a little bit, kind of lean into it. Got my chin pulled into my throat, which keeps my ears over my shoulders, pulls my face away from the wall so I'm not banging my face into the wall. But it's also good training to keep those ears, keep that head lined over your shoulder. But it can be really, really sore in there, lots of tightness in there. Good. All right. So now that we've stretched the shoulders and chest, and I didn't tell you this before, but you have a wall, so you can just use a wall. But if you also have like a door frame or an edge of the wall, it works great here. You're going to send your hand out, shoulder width or shoulder height, maybe a little lower. So just think of a T. Hand on the wall. We're going to take a couple steps forward. And we're just going to lean. Oh, turn on water. All right, so I'm going to lean and get that nice stretch in the front of my chest here. Big inhales and exhales. Inhales and exhales. It's called a doorway stretch. I'm not in a doorway, but any solid surface will work. You're just trying to bring your chest forward of your hand a little bit. So you can get that nice lengthening from the pec into the pec minor, all the way into the bicep of that arm. Okay, so if I step back, I can take my hand up a little bit higher. This might not work for you, it just depends on what your shoulder mobility is like. Here we're targeting a little bit more of that inner chest. If it doesn't feel right, go back to the shoulder height or lower. You can go lower here. Still get a stretch. Continue your breath. Good, and then switch. Okay? I'm going to go here. And straight out from my shoulder. I'm just going to come forward. Take the hand up the wall if you want. Go a little higher, kind of wide. Go ahead and just do about 20 more seconds here. Good. And let's do some big shoulder rolls. Up, back, down. And then grabbing your fingers together behind you. And I want you to kind of see roll. My shoulders roll forward. Now I'm going to roll them back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And now reach my fingers for the floor. So I'm not just going to a back extension. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades back and down. Reaching my knuckles to the floor. Lifting the chest up. So stretching the chest. And getting some nice lengthening here through the torso as well. 3 breaths. Good. All right, so that upper body should feel a little bit looser now. And definitely recommend doing that as well as the feet several times a week. Rolling the shoulders and the feet. All right, so we're going to finish our stretch down on the mat. Okay, so coming down. And we're going to start on all fours. Okay, and we're just going to go from this all fours position, bring your hands forward, toes tucked, and we're just going to do a little bit of that hip rocker. Okay, so I've got my belly button pulled up and in. Okay, keeping my back long, just sending my hips back to my heels, and I have my toes tucked so I can get a little bit more of the stretch through the bottom of my feet. Okay, so see how my fingers are wiggling? I have pressure through the palms of my hands, but it's not a lot of pressure. I've got my belly button pulled in, and I'm really thinking about driving my tailbone back to my heels. So with the pressure through my hands, I'm getting a nice lengthening and stretching down the sides of my torso. And let's just do 3 more here. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bringing those hands back underneath. I'm going to send one leg out, and then I'm going to bring it across. So that foot is now outside my other hip. Now I'm going to push back, hip to heel. You come down onto your forearms here. You can let your head relax. Whatever works. Now we're targeting that glute max muscle here on that leg that's tucked up underneath you. 3 breaths. Good, and come back. Find that all fours position again, belly button pulled in, nice and flat. Send the other leg straight back, swing it over, and then we're going to again press hip to heel. Coming down onto your forearms, using a pillow if you need to, kind of bring the floor up higher if you need it. So use any tools that you need. 3 breaths, stretching the hip of that leg that's tucked underneath you. Good, and then coming back up, we're going to come into a reclined pigeon. So use your, you can bring your strap or your sweatshirt, whatever you have. You bring it with you here as we come onto our backs. Okay, reclined pigeon, 1 foot in front. You're going to reach through, grab that quad, pull it toward you, okay, and then we can rock a little side to side. Foot that's in front, can you pull the toes to the shin? And as you rock side to side, you're working a nice little massage in the low back. You don't have to rock. Usually it feels good. Good. Now, keeping the legs the same, bring that foot down. Now, using your strap, if you need to, you're going to put it around that foot. Right? So that foot is folded in, right? That's just where we had it. Now we're going to bring it out and extend wide. So we're getting, again, mobility through this hip space. Right? So I'm going to tuck it in and then extend it out. And tuck it in and extend it out. Okay? If you have it, you can grab it with your hand. Again, focusing on that hip movement, getting those hips lubed up, in and out. And let's do 3 more on the side. Good. And switch. So now other leg in front. Reach, grab the back of that thigh, pull it towards you, rock a little side to side. Big inhales and exhales. Good. Bring that foot down. You're still in that position. Using your strap. Bring it around that foot so we've got it tucked in. And we extend it out and up. And tucked in. And we extend it out and up. So that leg, when you go out and up, doesn't get all the way straight, that's fine. If you feel a stretch here with a bent knee, hold there. Okay. Imagine reaching your heel out of that hip space. Again, I'm going to do it without the strap. You are welcome to do that. Good, and then we're going to pull both legs in. Again, using your strap if you need to, or your sweatshirt, what towel, whatever you have. You can wrap it around both feet. Goal is to get those quads parallel with the floor as well as your feet parallel with the floor, but don't necessarily have to be there. Okay, if you don't need the strap, go ahead and reach for your toes. What instead I want you to focus on is just holding there, rocking those side to side, happy baby here, and then actively pressing your tailbone down into the floor. So imagine your tailbone. Inhale, exhale, push that tailbone down. Keep it pressed down as we rock side to side. Good. And then give your knees a big hug. We're going to roll to the side and finish in child's pose. Now, I want you to find a child's pose that works for you. And even if kneeling on the mat doesn't work, if you have a chair nearby, you can do child's pose in a seated position as well. Okay? So you could do knees apart, toes together. You could do knees together. And we're going to press hips to heels. And we're going to bring your chest and body, belly over the knees. Okay? So I want you to put your head on your hands or all the way on the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, just bring your head down as low as you can. You can put a pillow in your belly space if you need. But here I want you to focus on your breath. And I'm going to keep my head lifted so you can hear me, but please keep your forehead down on your mat. So in our breath, we start with the belly. We want to fill up that belly first. And then take that breath into the diaphragm space, right between the belly and the ribs. And then continue the breath into the lungs and rib cage, expanding those in all directions. And on the reverse, we exhale, starting with the lungs and ribs, through the diaphragm, into the belly. And as we exhale through the belly, pull that belly button in towards the spine. Pull the pelvic floor up towards your center. And completely empty. All right, big inhale. And exhale. Good. And continue with your breath. Filling the belly first. Then taking that breath into the diaphragm space. And then finally into the lungs and rib space, expanding and reversing it back. Good. So with your belly up against your thighs, as you take that big belly breath, it forces that breath into that low back space. Let it go in there. Let that low back space expand into the diaphragm, expand into the lungs, expand, and exhale. As you exhale, think about bringing everything in toward your center, including that pelvic floor. All right, and I encourage you to continue your breath here. 4 or 5 deep breaths really do a wonder for the body and the brain. So continue here with your breathing here. I'm going to sign off, and I will see you next week. Mondays we do hips down. Wednesdays we do a little bit of everything. And have a wonderful weekend. Take care.